Hello, this is part 2 of Introduction to Meditation. If anybody's watched part 1, and I hope you have, and you've had a try at it, you may have experienced one or two setbacks, one or two snags, and so it possibly didn't go exactly right the first time. Well, I want you to be encouraged, because that's normal. That is very, very normal. And the problem that we all have, the resistance that we all have to meditation, is something called the ego. If you're a Course in Miracles student, you'll know about the ego. The ego is not our friend. The ego is an alien way of thinking that we've had downloaded into us from the time we were about this big, when we were little babies. So when you're a tiny baby, you don't know what's dangerous and what's friendly. Everything is just amazing. You lie in your pram or your cot or your bed, and you look at the world, and mum brings food and she cleans you when you fill your nappies, and everything is just cool. You're just here to be. But then as we start to grow, and it's quite natural, we start to have experiences that change our ability to be, just to be. For example, a bee might fly into the room. To the tiny infant, it just looks like a cuddly, fluffy thing, like one of its toys, and it might want to play with it. But then mum or dad comes in and chases the bee out the room and says, dangerous, it's a bad bee will sting you. And so our innocent mind that embraces every aspect of life suddenly gets a lot of information downloaded into it. Well, some of that information is for our own protection, and it's good and healthy. But quite a lot of it comes from society and politics and people trying to dominate us. So there's almost nobody watching this video, or ever will be, that thinks they're good enough. There's always something about yourself that you don't like. Now, that thought itself is an ego thought. You didn't have it before somebody taught it to you. And so one of the hardest things in meditation is to stay focused on repeating the I am, because what happens is our mind goes back to childhood experiences, and a teacher might have said to us, you've not tried hard enough. You didn't work at it. This work is rubbish. You've wasted your time. If you waste your time, you'll get into trouble. So what happens when we sit to meditate is the ego thinks this must be dangerous. We'll get into trouble. So my ego will invent things like a thought that says, did you leave that pot on the stove with the heat under it? You could burn the bottom out of the pot. Is the kettle plugged in? It could cause a fire. Did you post that letter to the tax office? You could get a fine. Have you phoned your mother? Have you phoned, the Inland Revenue? My ego will always come up with plausible reasons why I should not sit and meditate. And I want to assure you now, that's normal. Okay? So the question is, what do we do with ego thoughts when they try to sabotage meditation? Well, we need to question it first of all and ask, what is wasting time? In my experience, if you do 20 minutes meditation a day, it gives you more energy, better concentration, the ability to deal with one thing at a time, not a head full of clutter. They claim we get spontaneous right action, which means that we're more plugged into our intuition and we know what to do. And skills in action, and those are only a few. And I remember when I first started meditating, I was doing a job. I was helping a friend build a wall, and we built 4 layers of brick, 3 in the morning, and then I had a 20-minute break, and we put another 6 up after that. He was feeding them and I was laying them, but my skill, it doubled because I wasn't full of a cluttered head. Now, the opposite is that you don't meditate, you go into the day, and your ego's got 28 different plans that it wants you to do at once. It's got no sense of order. It doesn't put them in order and say, this one's the most important, do this one and don't think about anything else. That's not ego thinking. Ego thinks, worry about this, worry about this, worry about this, worry about this, and if you got time, worry about this, this and this as well. So you can see, when you sit down to meditate, you're not wasting time. And you won't get into trouble, because anytime you invest in meditation will be paid back 10 times by the way that you work better. So if your mind's not thinking about which coloured socks to wear when you're trying to do a calculation, along with did I buy the potatoes at the supermarket, when you're doing your equation, you'll solve the equation faster and it will be more accurate because you're focused. The other thing about wasting time is that it's like you've not got enough time in the day, and that is also an illusion. So when you sit down to meditate, you must reassure yourself that you're not wasting time, you're gaining time. You're not doing something stupid or frivolous, and that the net result will be a gain. And I can promise you, hand on heart, it will be a gain. It'll put you in a better mood. It'll make you more willing to listen to others. It'll make you feel content with yourself, and it'll help you achieve your tasks better. So in practical terms, when we have these ego thoughts, so I'm trying to do my mantra, and I'm saying, Om, 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 Om. And my ego says, oh, Dave, did you leave the kettle plugged in? You could burn the house down. I have to recognise, wait a minute, that is an ego thought. It's just an ego thought. And all you then do is quietly go back to repeating the same thought, the mantra. So when you get interference from your ego, don't be put off. Your ego will say, you see, you can't do it because I'm going to distract you. And the ego will get fed up in time. And after, I don't know how long, depends on who you are. And there's no two people the same. After a certain length of time, when you do your mantra, you'll find that you can actually do it for 20 minutes. And when you get that experience where you actually succeed in doing 20 minutes on the same mantra word, you'll experience, in the quietness within, in the stillness with your eyes shut, going inside, you'll experience something inside you rising, which is an energy. And that energy will go through the energy centers called chakras. And as you start to fill, you will connect with divine energy. And the net result is it's like a battery charger. It actually charges you up. I've done it when I've been absolutely falling asleep tired, and 20 minutes meditation has just picked me up like that, and I've got on and done another 3 hours of what I needed to do before I finish. Okay? So if you get distractions from your ego, be encouraged, because it means your ego is not very happy with you meditating, which means that you're actually doing it. It's almost like the more interference you get from your ego, the more it's confirming that you're actually meditating. Don't be put off. Just keep doing it. You can't get it wrong, and we're all capable. We are all equal. We are all divine sparks from the divine. Every one of us. Bless you. Happy meditating. Email me if you have any questions, please. Thank you.